Hey, what's up guys, and first of all I post a brand new series over on Making 3. What if Naruto was the ultimate Saiyan? Go ahead and check out that guys and enjoy. And also over on Animaking I post a brand new series as well. What if Naruto was a prodigy with an unknown bloodline? So go ahead and check out that as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. And if you're new, yes, I indeed have 3 channels, Animaking 2, and Making 3, which I post what if fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, a few flashes of the future came in Ruta's mind. Sakura had got severely wounded, and with her wound she couldn't heal herself, as Naruto had to watch as she died. Before that though, she told him that she loved him, as they didn't have much time for relationships, but things between them had started to grow ever since. Yes, and he knew that he liked her, and their relationship started to blossom between them. But she died in his arms. As Naruto got back to the camp, as he realized why, there was nothing and no one coming back to support them. The camp was wiped out, as his friends had once again relocated and a lot of them had died. We then had another flashback of the future, when Naruto was captured by Zetsu. When Tobi decided to beat the absolute crap out of Sasuke for getting on his nerves. Sasuke has been getting rather arrogant, saying that he was the one to kill Naruto, he was the one to take him down. Tobi had captured Naruto, but it was a bit too easy. Once they were gone, Naruto revealed that he was a clone, as Naruto tear rusting on right through Zetsu's head, as green blood splattered everywhere. As Tsunade arrived, she told him to go. They will handle the Gedo statue. As the reinforcements arrived, Tobi would probably kill Sasuke when he found out. After all, he was the one that caused this distraction. Meanwhile, as Kushina was so happy, she made her way with Mikoto. The Uzumakis were wiped out. She hasn't seen another Uzumaki as far as she knew. She was the last one, but here was this guy saying that he was a Uzumaki as well. As she arrived there, she saw him. As Naruto told her the story that Hiruzen and him had came up with, that he never knew his parents, and Hiruzen was the one that basically raised him. As she was so happy, he was older than her, so she asked if she could call him Big Brother. Kushina was rather nice, and Naruto found it rather amusing. Yes, it was a lot amusing given the fact of who he was, and yet she was the one calling him Big Brother. It was just so amusing. As he had fought with Minato, a rather hectic battle, as Minato was all bruised and scraped up. As the both of them were scraped up, as Naruto couldn't really fight all out, as he wouldn't want to accidentally hurt Minato, so he held back a lot. But his father was strong, yes, even though he wasn't famous yet for his Harashin, as Naruto saw the black-haired girl that was with them, as it was Sasuke's mother, Mikoto. He was shocked. Naruto went to speak to Hiruzen as he wanted to send Sakumo out towards the borders, towards the meeting place for the refugees, as he sent out an invite to any clan from Kira that want to escape the bloodline purge to come to Konoha. But Naruto told him not to send Sakumo as he save his team in the future, and the backlash. Despite Hiruzen being happy about that, him forsaking the mission and saving his friends, the backlash caused him to take his life, so Naruto took his place. As Naruto told Hiruzen that could handle it, he didn't want to brag, but there was not anyone this time that could, well, test him right now. Hiruzen agreed to that. Naruto in his envoy uniform went to visit the Uchiha compound, as he met Kagami. It was the father of Mikoto, as she was out with Fukaku. The both of them didn't really seem to get along that much. She didn't really like Fukaku. He was a rather emotionless man. She did this because it was good for the clan, yes she did. As she saw Minato, well, she thought that it was him, but it was Naruto because of his hair. As she apologized for the mistake, as she was almost able to pummel him. As he shrugged it off, he told her that they had a mission tomorrow. Fukaku didn't like that one bit, as he was gonna make a complaint about this. She was the heir of the Uchiha compound. And with the war coming around, this was not a good time to be sending her out on a mission. He didn't like this one bit, he was angry about it. But she did not care what he felt about that. He was a shinobi. Who did he think that he was? When the time came, Naruto was there observing his team as he saw an Akemichi, a member of Minato's old team, along with Mikoto and Minato. Kushina was there, but she was not coming along, seeing that she was just there, without any supplies. And there was also Kakashi, a young Kakashi. It seems like he wasn't on his father's genin team yet. So yeah guys, that's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place for yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? So now that I'm here, said Naruto as he joined up with the team, we'll hit the road. Hokage-sama tell me that you guys are gonna be my backup and support just in case anything go wrong. That means you will just be on standby. So if all goes good, you may not need to see any action at all. First, however, as Naruto turned towards a man that he did not know. He believed that he was Akemichi though. I don't know who you are. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, says he extended his hand. The young man extended his hand and shook his hand. Akemichi Teiki. Nice to meet you, Uzumaki-san. I didn't realize there was any other Uzumakis in the village, other than Kushina-san. As Naruto grinned, no one else knew until the other day. I've been a very well kept secret. But with another potential war looming on the horizon, Hokage-sama can't afford to keep me hidden anymore. That's part of the reason why I'm leading this mission. I'll explain the objective as we get moving, everyone. Say your goodbyes, Kushina-san, because we'll be moving out in 5, said Naruto. As Naruto watches Kushina say goodbye to everyone, as she gave Teiki a smile, as she rubbed Kakashi's head, which he didn't seem to mind, surprisingly. She gave Mikoto a big hug. Minato was a bit longer as she pampered him as usual. Thinking everyone was done, as Naruto turned around, but he was caught as she pulled him into a tight hug. As he caught him off guard as he froze, as he heard a small giggle. You know, you're supposed to hug back when a girl hugs you. You didn't seem to have this problem last time. Oh, yeah, said Naruto, as he wrapped his arm around her in an awkward manner. As that only caused Kushina to laugh once again, as she stuck her tongue out at him. We're gonna have to work on that when you get back, big bro, she said. Yeah, said Naruto as he scratched back his head. I haven't had enough practice showing or receiving stuff like that, he said. I can probably count the number of times I've been hugged on both hands. Kushina seemed saddened at that, but determination flashed in her eye as she shouted, just wait until we get back. Not quite sure what to make of it, Naruto simply nodded as he walked towards the exit with his team following behind him. Looks like Kushina's found the next victim, huh, Minato? I don't know, Teiki. She hasn't hit him yet, so maybe it will be a bit different, said Minato. Well, at least she didn't leave him in a bloody mess on the ground. She even hugged him first. What's up with that? I don't know, Kakashi. But judging from how stiff his back went, I don't think that he was expecting the hug that he got. Naruto listened to them ramble on as they moved to the trees. He was unsure if they were trying to goad him into speaking or if they were warning him of what Kushina was capable of. Interesting enough, Mikoto was strangely quiet through the whole exchange. Well, considering that she looked like she wanted to kill him in the beginning, he didn't feel like looking over his shoulder. Time skip. Uzumaki-san. Naruto turned his head slightly as he acknowledged Mikoto's presence. As they had set up camp for the night, their mission was taken to water country. Getting there will take about 4 days total. Shouldn't you be sleeping, Mikoto-san? We have an early start tomorrow. Naruto had volunteered for first watch and Minato had volunteered for second. Each watch will be about 3.5 hours, so the rest of the team will get approximately 7 hours of sleep. They will switch watch each day. As Naruto left a clone at the camp, while he went to the nearby stream to meditate. I admit I'm having a hard time sleeping, but it upset me that you left a single clone to watch a camp. What would you have done if we were attacked? As Naruto turned towards her and looked in her eyes, he was surprised that she did not flinch back or look away. She met his gaze with a challenging look. In the future, he had perfected his stare. It was something he liked to do, but in a rough time in war times, you had to have a certain discipline so that people would listen and understand. It wasn't just about being nice. You have to have what it takes to control the job that you had. 3 things. First, we're still in the middle of a fire country, so any attack will be either by a dumbass bandit group or someone really stupid, said Naruto. Second, my clones are Shadow clones, so anytime one of them is dispelled, they remember come to me immediately. I could be back in camp in a few. You probably did not notice there was a few extra stones or logs around the camp. I made 8 clones, several of them transformed into objects. So in case anyone did try anything, they would be in for a nasty surprise. If she was upset or angry, or changed in any way by what he said, she was perfect in hiding it. There was a slight shift in her eyes, but that was it alone. I see. I apologize for distracting you in your watch, Uzumaki-san, she said. I shall try to be more mindful of my surroundings in the future. That said, she turned and headed back towards the camp. As Naruto wondered, was she always like this? Talk about hard to read. Time skip, 5 days later. Naruto sighed as he dodged bone projectiles. As he wondered for the umpteenth time, why did he bother taking this mission? He didn't remember that it was one of the missions that Sakamu failed in the future that could lead to his death. And he needed to prove that he can be trustworthy. He knew that Minato was there to observe him, and probably Mikoto as well. In fact, he wouldn't be surprised if that was the whole reason for all of them being here. So when they got back, Hirsun would probably ask about, well, how did things went to them alone when he was not there. Probably just to see how things went. He also noticed that Kakashi referred to Minato as senpai, or san, not sensei, which reminded Naruto that they did not have the relationship that they had later on. Stay still, Konoha scum. Naruto snorted as a low-power chakra Sengan appeared in his hand as he moved and slammed it right into the man's torso. From what he remembered about fighting Kimimaro, their clan had a bloodline to manipulate their bones in creative ways. It wasn't hard to locate their clan, as everyone thought it might be, since they entered the bloodline mist war. Everyone, without a bloodline, knew exactly where they will be, and they were on high alert. Of course, always being on alert would eventually tire them out and lead to their demise. No matter how skilled you were, you couldn't win when you weren't well rested. As Naruto remembered that Kimimaro was hardly injured, even Gaara and Lee had a difficult time injuring him. Well, there was also the fact that Orochimaru has been experimenting on him for a while. But it must have been him alone that had a high tolerance for pain. Unlike Kimimaro, though Kaguya that Naruto hit, screaming pain before flying away and crashing on his back. Several members rushed over to him as he lay on the ground clutching his chest. What did you do to Nobu? Are you here to kill us all? As Naruto looked towards a woman that was in a fighting posture, her eyes remained on him even though they were twitching towards her fallen comrade. She didn't have the two pale dots above her eyes like Kimimaro had. And she was not preparing to attack him with bones either. He guessed that she was from outside the clan, but she was now with them through marriage or other means. I asked to talk to your leader and he attacked me. I heard the Kaguya clan was a bit bloodthirsty, but this is ridiculous. We're in the middle of a civil war in case you didn't know, since you're not from around here. Asking to see or speak to the leader of a bloodline clan when you're not a part of said clan is basically declaring war against that clan. As Naruto sighed internally, of all the stupid piece of I see, he said. I apologize then. Can you relay the message that I'm here with the offer to the Kaguya clan to join Konoha as a full clan with all the rights that entails, so long as you swear loyalty to the Hokage. There's a greater war in the horizon, and we would like to offer an easy way out of the civil war in the water country. Fool, why would we want to leave one war to enter another? As Naruto turned to another member who did have the pale dots on his face. Because you would have the entire far country behind your back, not just the other bloodline clans. Konoha is also home to plenty of other strong clans, even some that match strength of the bloodline clans. Without, another clan member snorted. No clan can be stronger than one with a bloodline. As Naruto resisted the urge to slap himself. I am Uzumaki Naruto, a member of the Uzumaki clan, or what is left of it. While many of us was experts at throwing jutsu, our only talent in our blood was an extended lifespan. I'm sure you all know of us and how our home was destroyed during the Second War. As Naruto saw a few people nodded as he continued. Good, then you know that we're not special as a warrior. However, I lived in Konoha all my life, and if there's one thing that Konoha has, it's the will of fire. The will to believe in others as much as you believe in yourself, to protecting the ones that you care about. It is what makes us strong. I want to protect my home from the upcoming war. Bring your 3 strongest warriors and I will defeat them, and show you that it's not what inside your blood that makes you strong. It is what is in your heart. Quite a large group of Kaguyas that gathered to listen to him, as many of them were just silent. One of the more elderly stepped forward. The members looked at him in shock. Based on their expressions, this must be a leader. Young man, am I to assume that the Hokage gave you his authority to speak on his behalf? As Naruto nodded, as he reached into a pouch and pulled out a small scroll. A few of them tense. but they made no over movements, which he was grateful for. He opened his palm as he took a few steps forward, facing upward that he was not hiding the weapon, as he handed the scroll to the older man. The older man took the scroll as he opened it. The man spoke with a few others as they read through the scroll. It wasn't much really, probably 1/5 of the Uchiha compound. That was the size. Their numbers were small. They were like the Abaramis or the Kurama clan. But since they were in the middle of a civil war, probably this was a hideout, and they were scattered all over. He didn't know. Uzumaki-san, how many days travel did it take you to get here? A little over 4 days traveling at full speed with a small team. A small team? They let you come here alone, the man asked. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm stronger than my entire team combined. So my safety is not a question, and the Hokage know this. They were sent as support, so I could get rest while they keep a small camp for a safe zone. Very well. How long until you arrive back in Konoha, the man asked. My mission duration was set for 2 weeks. I will contact as many clans as I can before the time expire. So we aren't the only ones that you're after. At least you're honest. I can appreciate that. Not many know the value of honesty these days. Naruto nodded as he tossed another important fact towards him. Hokage-sama also say if you still have the blood plague that infects your clan, he will recall Tsunade of the Sanin to try to find a cure. That comment got few of the people gasping in shock. Apparently, the Naruto problem was not well known. It didn't affect all of them, but a few people it affected. That was one of the main reasons why their clan had died out. When Naruto was growing up, the disease had claimed half of them while the Civil War had claimed the rest. We were already prepared to travel to Konoha, but that just added more incentive. Please give your Hokage our thanks, and expect the Kaguya clan in 1 month time. Naruto smiled in relief. That was one clan down. As he wondered if Kimura was born yet. Perhaps when the clan arrived, he would investigate. He could almost hear the Kyuubi ranting to him about the chaos theory now. Flashback. Naruto sat in the tent, his hand clenched around one of the few pictures that he had of Tsunade. After returning back to camp, after he faked his own capture, Tsunade told him to get some rest. That is what he did, and he woke up to chaos. Toby had gone on a rampage after he found out that Naruto got away and the Gedo statue was destroyed, or mostly destroyed. From the scattered reports that they'd gotten, they'd almost released the bijuu and destroy the containment seal inside the Gedo statue. They were going to make it crumble away, but Toby had appeared in front of them. He had decimated their forces behind. The ones that stayed behind, he had decimated them. They lost the majority of their forces, but the biggest loss was Tsunade, their Hokage. No one who survived and made it back could really say what happened. 1 second they were fighting, next second she was thrown back against one of the walls, blocking many of their views. She never rose back. The Raikage went to check on her, but Toby teleported in front of him and did the same thing. A went flying as well, but he remained conscious, but he was barely moving, whatever Toby did. Toby had moved to finish him off, but Gedo statue started to move and groan, distracting Toby. He had lost interest in two Kages as he focused on keeping the statue together. The remaining forces managed to recover the dead, as Tsunade had laid to rest when they had returned. As for the Raikage, his lower spine was crushed, and he would never be able to walk again. Had Tsunade might been alive, he would have a chance, but now he would never walk again. Naruto was snapped from his thoughts. As he looked up to see who was addressing him, it was Nara Shikaku. What do you need, Shikaku-san? Said Naruto. The Jonins all took a vote, and we've talking to the daimyo by the shinobis that we have stationed there. I got some people I need you to talk with if you're feeling up to it. Naruto nodded as he wiped his eyes as he got to his feet. There's no rush. Take your time. Prepare yourself. Naruto gave the man a curious look, but Shikaku's face didn't give away anything. As he moved towards his wash basin, he splashed his face several times with water before drying off. As he took a deep breath and calmed himself as he followed the man out. As Naruto blinked to what he saw outside, it looked like everyone was standing outside, be they from Konoha or elsewhere. The guard was there. The Tsuchikage Oniki was there. Mei was there. And even the cripple, A, was now there, as he was sitting on a rock. As Shikaku spoke up behind him, it might be a bit sudden, but the Shinobi Alliance await your command, 6th Hokage-sama. In the flashback, Naruto was heading back to his team after just talking to another clan, the Yuki clan, which he kept referring to in his mind as a Haku clan. Most of them looked like Haku, men and women alike, but he had no idea if any one of them would become his mother. They said that a few people had already left the clan to hide what they were, just not get involved in the fighting. As Naruto was a bit worried, thinking that Haku's mother might have went off. Many of them were so surprised that he even come to them. But he owed it. He told them to a Yuki member to try. As he was talking about Haku, Haku and Zabuza helped him with molding his ideals in the years to come. It was because of them. As Naruto felt more people at the rendezvous point than there was supposed to be, he created a clone as the clone started to gather natural energy as he made his way off. Hopefully it wouldn't be needed, but he has learned. It was better to be safe than sorry. Using the Kyuubi purified chakra was the last resort. He didn't know how long it will take to regenerate this time, without the fox consciousness inside of him. As he started to release his own chakra, letting his team know that he was coming. Meanwhile, Minato noticed Mikoto and one of the missed shinobi tensed up a bit. Kakashi turned his head, as he seemed to have noticed something as well. He spread out his senses. It took him a while longer than them, as he felt it. Something really strong was coming towards them, fast. The missed shinobis didn't seem like this. I will ask again, what are you doing in water country? One of them asks. I can only give you the same answer. Minato sighed. We're here on a diplomatic mission. That's all I'm allowed to say. I bet they're trying to poach the ones with cursed blood, Yagura-sama. If we allow them to do that, Konoha will gain more strength and maybe attack later. What? Said Minato. As he looked towards the missed shinobi that had spoken. We wouldn't do something like that. You mean poach or attacking us, the other shinobi said, as he glared at him. Minato was about to retort, but Mikoto gave him a look as he bit his tongue. She shot a look at the apparent leader of their forces, who was looking back in the trees behind them. Same direction that Kakashi has been looking. Same for the shortest one of the Kira group. As the boy seemed to have a look of fear on his face. I'm surprised to see you here, Yagura. Minato snapped his head as he heard Naruto's voice, as he wondered if that thing that he was sensing was Naruto. Who are you? And how do you know my name? As the one that was confirmed as Yagura spoke, not knowing how this person knew his name. I know a lot about you, Yagura. As Naruto landed in front of them. Are you already acting under compulsion? How long has it been since you were truly yourself? Minato watched as the boy's face twisted through several facial movements. Why you? What are you saying to Yagura-sama? Take that back this very instant. Yagura-sama is incredibly powerful and will squash you like a bug. Once we squash those bloodline rebels, he will be the next Mizukage. As Naruto ignored the man that spoke as he kept his focus on the future, Mizukage. Come on, Yagura. I know that you're there. You don't want to fight, or even kill. You're very young, and you've seen a lot of that already. That would last you a lifetime. Because of both who and what you are. That caused the missed shinobis to fall into ready stances. As Yagura looked rather shocked. How do you know about Yagura-sama? One of the older shinobis asked as Yagura took a step forward. I know a lot of things. He doesn't want to fight, but he has been compelled to do a lot of things that he doesn't want to do. I'm asking him to be strong and trying to break through it. Yagura groaned as he clutched at his head. A few shinobi tried to help him, but he waved them off. As he lifted his head to stare at Naruto. He was about to say something, but the shinobi, the one to his side, could not hold it anymore as he launched himself at Naruto. Minato barely had time to react himself as Mikoto and Teiki shouted out Naruto's name. But they didn't need to move as Naruto simply waved his hand through the air. The missed shinobi cried out in pain as his leg fell off just below the knee. Two of the shinobis beside him run to help him with the blood flow, as the others didn't look like they were ready to attack. If you get into a healer soon, he can probably have his lower leg reattached and use it. It's a clean cut. I am not here to fight you or your shinobis, Yagura. Yagura looked rather conflicted as he shook his head. I need some people to carry him. As he glanced towards Naruto, we're returning to the village. I trust that you'll be out of water country by nightfall. You have my word, said Naruto. Very well. It was an interesting meeting. I still don't know your name. Naruto, said Naruto. Yagura nodded slowly. You know about me more than most others, it seems. Strange, because I don't remember you at all. Perhaps you can answer my questions at another time. Once I'm... Whatever Yagura was about to say was cut off as he clutched at his head once again. The next time he opened his eyes, they were dull, and they were unfocused once again. Without a word, he turned and left the area. Once they were gone, Naruto turned. Everyone okay? Sorry I was gone for so long, he said. They all looked amongst each other and shrugged before Teiki spoke. I think we were ready to die of boredom more than anything else, he said. Though that was a tricky situation for that Yagura. Thanks for showing up when you did. No problem. What was he doing here anyway? I have no idea, said Minato, shaking his head. He didn't believe me either way. I told him that we're here for diplomatic meetings, and we didn't want to fight. I see. I guess it was good that I showed up when I did. I would have been back sooner, but talking with the Yuki clan took longer than expected. Did you manage to talk to everyone that you planned on? Naruto nodded to Minato. 6 bloodline clans, he said. Mikoto and Teiki looked shocked at that. Kakashi seemed calm, but Minato was looking at Naruto with surprise. Naruto had talked to 6 clans about coming back to Konoha, and he'd make it back alive after talking to all 6 of them. We have until tonight, right? Do you want us to come and visit you to talk to the Kaguyas? Oh? I talked to them first, said Naruto. No, Minato was speechless. Everyone knew how bloodthirsty the Kaguyas were, and the fact that Naruto went there and talked them alone. Minato did not know if Naruto was brilliant, brave, strong, or just incredibly stupid. Or perhaps he was a 4 of a mix. We should probably get out of here tonight, said Naruto. I don't want to test Yagura. We'll be heading back a couple days early, but our objective had been met for the most part. There was a few clans they couldn't find, but maybe word will get through. And they all might decide to show up, said Naruto. I only got confirmation from the Kaguya that they will come. The others are wait and see. You managed to get them to agree? Are they really not as bloodthirsty as I heard, said Mikoto. No, they are. I just promised them something they really want to hear. What? As Naruto offered her a smile of apology. I can't say. Hokage-sama orders. He may tell you if you ask. She folded her arms as she frowned, as Teiki chuckled and patted her on the shoulder. Naruto. Said Naruto. As Minato was turning his back. Is something wrong? No. I just made a clone to store up natural energy, in case I had to use it. But seeing that I don't, I'm just releasing it now. Natural energy? Those were the first words that Kakashi had spoken this entire time, which surprised everyone. One thing that was known about Kakashi, he wasn't the type that would take active interest in others' ability. Something about Naruto must have made him curious. Yes. As Naruto turned, as Minato noticed a fade in color from his eyes. I can use the energy of nature to augment my own abilities. It comes in handy sometimes. No, Minato was curious. Can anyone do it? No. You need to have a certain amount of chakra. Ask Ero Sennin. I'm sure that he will tell you. Ero Sennin, said Minato. As Naruto's eyes went wide for a second before he groaned and slapped his forehead. Alright, he'll probably kill me for telling someone else. I'm talking about Jiraiya. You know Jiraiya Sensei? Minato wanted to laugh about the Ero Sennin name, but Jiraiya Sensei wasn't really a hermit. He just traveled a lot. The other view that he was a pervert was spot on though. Yes, I know all of his sonins. Minato opened his mouth to say more, but Naruto silenced him. You can ask me all you want when we get back to Fire Country. I'll answer what I can, but for now, we should pack up and get moving. I don't feel like fighting one of the Miss Jinchuriki, if we can help it. The group was shocked. They came that close to fighting a Jinchuriki? With that, they move off, as Mikoto and Minato kept on eyeing Naruto. There was more to him than what it seems. When they were about an hour away from the coast, Naruto stopped and cursed. Have any of you ever fought a bijuu before? The group shook their heads. Well, there's a first time for everything, I guess. Yagura. It's a Jinchuriki of the standby. I hope you're ready because he's getting here, said Naruto. Either he changed his mind or someone changed it for him. It was likely Tobi, as Naruto still didn't know who the hell that man was. He couldn't show his abilities, as he was sending his pet Jinchurikis after them. It seems like he found that he knew a bit too much about his pet Jinchuriki. Damn it. And with Tobi watching, he couldn't just show off everything. He just had to do his best to work with his team, to subdue the standby in any way possible. This is probably going to be a ninjutsu fight. Genjutsu won't work, because there's already one on him. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why he's attacking us now. Taijutsu is out of the question, you'll just get burned. As Naruto turned towards Minato, do you know any chakra suppression seals? Minato shook his head. Not one that can suppress a bijuu chakra, he said. Okay, I know one. But I need to concentrate. You guys have to keep them off balance. With whatever you can, said Naruto. Before any of them could agree or disagree, Yagura came bursting into the trees, as he ripped apart the ground, rushing towards Naruto. He had the deep red cloak surrounding his body, 3 tails waving behind him wildly. He took a swing at Naruto as Naruto called public of the Kyuubi's chakra. Naruto caught the fist as Yagura's eyes widened, his white pupilless eyes. Naruto faked a wince looked like it hurt. He backed off and formed a mud wall between them. as a shadow loomed over Naruto as he saw Teiki leaped over him, with his giant fist smashing on the other side of the wall. Naruto wasn't sure if he had hit him because the mud wall blocked his view, but he doubted Teiki would left a scratch on Yagura. All he needed though was a distraction, as Minato released several small projectiles of fire from her mouth. As Naruto pulled out a blank sheet of paper quickly, he bit his finger and used his blood as the ink, charging the symbols with his chakra as he drew. The only problem, he had to re-black his finger several times because it would heal quickly right when he was drawing. He only had to dodge once as a large piece of debris headed his way. He would have to thank Teiki for the heads up as he heard a tail beast bomb being charged. Shit. Get out of the way! There's no way that you can stop that attack! Teiki was behind Yagura looking ready to attack, but Naruto, warning, made him move away. Kakashi was too close, and Naruto knew the radius of the explosion, and he would definitely get caught up in it. As Naruto focused on chakra inside of him, a bright golden flash swallowed him as he moved, his speed too fast for any of them to follow. He was upon Kakashi within seconds as he slowed his speed to not make any bodily harm came to Kakashi as he dropped him by a nearby tree. As Naruto hobbled over Kakashi, as a massive explosion went off. When it all ended, Kakashi seemed to be in shock as Naruto grabbed him by the shoulder. I need to go place seal on Yagura. I'll either be right back or send one of the others after you. Do you understand? Kakashi nodded, just barely, as Naruto moved through the nearby trees as he went towards Yagura's location. Yagura was still in version 2, as he was looking around like he was inspecting his handiwork, rolling. As Naruto moved behind him and shot forward, Yagura's 3 tails came out as Naruto ducked the first one, twist on the second one, but the third one nicked his leg as he winced in pain, but he was used to pain. As he flipped over Yagura and slammed the seal right on his forehead. Yagura's hands dropped to his side as he collapsed, panting heavily. What did you do to me? My mind, it's clear again. As Naruto looked towards his leg, the tail that hit him pierced clean through his leg. He was so used to the pain, he thought it had merely grazed him. He could see the muscle and skin knitting itself back together, thanks to his heritage and the Kyuubi chakra, as he wrapped the gauze around his leg that he had on him. I know a thing or two about seals, said Naruto. I placed one on you that suppressed your bijuu. Apparently, your bijuu controlled you. And someone is controlling your bijuu. I see. I feel tired. Because the bijuu chakra is being suppressed in your system when it normally travels through it freely. The closest example is a mild form of chakra exhaustion. The seal power will drain eventually, and it will return to normal. Yagura nodded, his eyes drooping. Thank you. Even if this moment is fleeting in his head. You're welcome. Do what you can to fight the impulses. I have a feeling if you don't, I will never see you again. Not alive at least. How do you know? So, Yagura collapsed before he could say much. Naruto! As Naruto's team came running over, Kakashi and Teiki was coming up to him, while Minato was holding Mikato's arm, keeping her steady. The two of them look a bit worse for wear, so they might not have made it completely away from the blast radius just in time, even though they were a distance away, the debris and dust. Is everyone okay? Naruto asked. They all murmured their affirmatives, even Kakashi, as most of them looked towards his god's leg, wondering how bad the wound was. Are you going to be able to travel? I saw that tail punch a hole in your leg. As Minato winds towards the leg. I'll be good in about an hour or so. Uzumaki's have advanced healing factor, as you may know, said Naruto. Really? I didn't know that it was a clan trait. I just thought it was something random for Kushina. As Naruto gave him a look, to say, do you really think that? Minato's lips turned to a straight line, as he shook his head, hopefully. The other blonde man knew about the boosts of the natural Uzumaki toughness from the Kyuubi. Heck, hopefully he knew that she possessed a Kyuubi by now. Judging by Naruto's comment though, and Minato's response, he probably did. We should get moving, said Naruto as he got to his feet as fast as we can. We'll leave Yagura here. He'll wake up in 15 minutes or so. I don't know what state of mind he will be in either, but I'd rather not be around to find out. Are you sure? Couldn't we take him to... Teiki was cut off by Minato who spoke before Naruto could. No, that's not a good idea. He's a Jinjoki and Kiri will go to war with us for killing or capturing him. We don't want to start a war early. As Naruto nodded at that, as that seemed to seal the deal for the rest of the team. Teiki and Kakashi came over as they tried to help him up. It was a bit awkward seeing that Teiki was a lot taller, but He appreciated the gesture even though it was not needed. But he wouldn't want to break the goodwill from his team. Hopefully though, Kakashi was the only one that saw his golden form. Maybe he would get lucky and convince Kakashi that he was hallucinating because of the bijuu chakra. Yeah, right. It was Kakashi. Flashback to the future. You know, you're kind of cute, in a pathetic sort of way, when you concentrate on those maps. As Naruto looked up towards Kurosaki, who was across the table, she had taken into some light flirting with him lately, which was rather amusing, if anything. If someone told his father or the now deceased Tsuchikage that his son or his granddaughter would be flirting with each other in the future, both men would probably laugh and declare whoever told them to be insane. She was perhaps a year or two older than him, but he had never bothered to ask. These days no one really cared about age. People had surely changed plenty, the both of them as well. It went without saying that he was less cheery and more down to earth. He was no longer that bright ray of sunshine. Watching her friends fighting and losing, and getting lost in the Red Moon Genjutsu day after day took its toll. It had been nearly 2 years since the Fourth Great Shinobi War began. It had been over a year since he lost two of the people closest to him, Tsunade and Sakura. The only other person that he was close to on a personal level was Kakashi, but the time that they got to sit down and talk was rather few. He met Kurosaki 5 months ago, when he found her crying about the death of her father, one of their generals that he lost. At first she recalled in anger at him trying to soothe her pain, not because of who he was but because of her personality in general. She didn't like to show weakness, but he was Naruto despite everything. He hung around to make her vent her pain. He didn't know that she appreciated until a week later, when she returned from one of her assignments and brought him lunch out of the blue. They started to see each other more and more. He didn't know if the both of them were doing it or it was just happening. He didn't know. He wasn't sure who started the flirting between them, but it was probably definitely her, since she was more outgoing between them. Somewhere along the line, she made him get his ears pierced, to show off the bad boy look that he had, to complete it. And she really seemed to like it for some reason. Naruto had no idea how he looked like a bad boy, and he had no idea why he went along with her crazy ideas, but he did anyway, because there was no reason not to. Along the same thing, he made an offhanded comment that he had a thing for long hair. That was probably about 2 months ago, and she hasn't cut her hair since. When they first met, she kept it quite short, but now, it was reaching down towards her shoulders. He had to admit to himself it definitely looked good. When he asked her about it, she simply winked and she didn't explain. But her actions were definitely an explanation for him. As Naruto looked up from the map, with a small grin. Cute enough that you like what you see, huh? Definitely, she said as her eyes sparkled a bit. In fact, once I get back from this latest job like Garure want me to do, I think I will show you just how much. Naruto found himself chuckling instead of blushing. Normally, something like this would make him look like a red tomato, but having flirting and joking with her for a little while now, it felt so natural. This was the first time that she had tossed some innuendo his way, but this was the time that he was gonna respond to it. Sure, if you behave. Maybe I'll let you examine what is under the uniform, he said. She actually blushed at that, as she licked her lip, as she gave him a mocking salute. Is that an order, Uzumaki-sama, she said. Do you want me to make it one, said Naruto. I will hurry back, I promise, she said, as Naruto got to his feet. Her eyes narrowed as he walked right in front of her. Without saying a word, he pulled her close to him, as he pressed his lips against hers, as they lingered for a moment. When he pulled away, her face moved forward slightly, like she didn't want him to stop, but his hand was still on her chin, keeping her lips from going back on his. Kurosaki, he said. She said. Be safe. Don't get distracted thinking about this or me. Do what you have to do and come back, he said. That snapped her from her daze as she turned. She swayed her hips as she walked. Who do you think I am? I can handle it. I'll be back in no time. He let out a short laugh as she left him alone once again. He returned back to the map. He never thought he would get with her, of all people. She've lasted this long and knew that she was strong enough to be with him, until the end. It was strange how the war had made them bedfellows. He never thought after losing soccer last year he would be interested in anyone ever again. Unfortunately, he didn't know that that was the last time he would ever see Kurosaki again. End of flashback. Come in. As Naruto opened the door and entered the office, as he closed it behind him, he was surprised to see who was standing there with him. Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Tsunade, as he gave him rather impassive looks. After a few seconds of staring, he found his voice. Sorry, I just got back. Never mind. I can report in later, Hokage-sama. Nonsense, Harrison said. I am most curious here about your mission, and I think my students would believe me more if they hear about your capabilities directly from you. As Naruto moved forward, he kept himself calm. Orochimaru was here. The man was, well, not who he was yet, but still. This was a man that was going to turn sick and twisted in the future. He didn't know how far he had fallen. The few labs that he found so far showed that he ran experiments, but fortunately, there was no people. I would like to say the mission was a complete success. However, we had a little run-in with the Miss Jinjulke. However, I'm not sure if anything will come of that. Sarutobi narrowed his eyes, as the Sanin's tense. Explain, he said. As Naruto nodded, as I was returning from meeting up with the Yuki clan to a rendezvous point, I sent some rather large chakra signatures, including one that felt like a bijuu. I got there as fast as I could, only to arrive into a verbal diplomat between Minato and Yagura, the Miss, New Jinjulike. As Naruto explained everything, emotions, a lot of them flashed over Hiruzen's face, and some gasp, and also gurgles came from the Sanins. When Jiraiya heard that he stopped Yagura and how, he had to speak up. You mean to tell me that you stopped at Jinjulike with a suppression seal that you wrote on the battlefield? I realize I'm not a skilling expert, but I think I have a fair grasp over it, and I don't think I've heard of that before. As Naruto shrugged and tried to keep a straight face, Jiraiya was the one that used to put the seal on him in the future after all. I'm no expert with seals, but this one should seem very obvious. It just takes a decent amount of chakra and concentration to prepare. I can show you if you like. As Jiraiya's face twitched, until he grinned. Sure, thanks. What about you, Orochimaru? This sort of thing is sounding like it's right up your alley. Orochimaru shook his head. I prefer ninjutsu. Seals aren't my style, he said. As Naruto bit his tongue from making any comments. How did your main objective turn out? And what is the status of your team? My team is fine, no injury to report. My left calf was speared by one of the standby Jinjuki tails, but I have no trouble in walking anymore, so I'm pretty sure that it's... What? As Naruto turned towards Tsunade that spoke, you were speared by a bijuu chakra, and you weren't suffering from bijuu poisoning? How? As Naruto opened his mouth and closed a few times, wondering how to say it. I'm sturdy, he said. That didn't went over Tsunade very well, as she pushed him down on the couch and unwrapped his calf. As he heard a chuckle from Jiraiya, as Tsunade gasped. How? It doesn't even have a scar, she said, as she ran a green hand over it. I'm a Uzumaki. Longevity and enhanced healing is our blood limit of sorts, you know, he said. Tsunade snapped her eyes to him and then the Hokage, who slowly nodded. Even if you're Uzumaki. The only one that I know of that heals that fast is a result of a special circumstances for you not to be affected by the chakra at all. As she narrowed her eyes at him with a rather pronounced look. But guys, be in subs right here. If you want to see the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, I posted a brand new series over on Anime King of What If Naruto was a prodigy with an unknown bloodline, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy guys. And remember, if you need to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. Thank you for all of your help and your support, and also, over on Anime King 3 I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was the ultimate Saiyan. So go ahead and check out that guys and enjoy. And remember, if you're new, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now, see you guys soon, peace.